So, hello you people, how you all doing? I hope all of you are doing great. So in today's video we're going to make, I'm going to show you how you can pretty much make I promised in one of the videos how you can make a really fast environment, and I realized that there were some features missing within openbox, which is the environment I'm using right now, that were causing a lot of people not being able to switch. So I had to apply a custom patch and stuff that I made myself, which took a while. That's why this video is out at the time that it is, because I didn't simply have time to make the video. I had to, figure out how to build it, how to add the patch in and stuff. I have the diff open, but it's not in there anymore. So pretty much what the patch does, it enables Windows snapping. So when you're used to Windows snapping from Windows, that's now added in. So you can see it works fine on single monitors. I tested it out on my dual monitor config, but yeah, it just didn't work properly. So that's what I did. I applied a simple Windows snapping feature. It works. As you can see, it changes according to where I want to have it. So if I want full screen, drag it up on the left side, snap it to the left, snap it to the right, it works. On dual monitors, it kind of makes a glitchy thing where if you want to snap it to the right, it doesn't work. It actually works only on the primary monitor that you set it. Sometimes it doesn't. So if you're running dual monitors, it may not work for you. For this example, I'm running just a single monitor, and I switched back to a single monitor setup because it's easier for me to manage and work with. Anyway, so I'll just hide this because it's annoying. So pretty much the way you do this, you want to go and install openbox, followed by installing other things you will need to make this a fully fledged desktop environment that doesn't even use that much RAM. In fact, we can open up another terminal. I will cover these custom shortcuts later on, so just bear with me. So let's have a look if how much RAM we're using. Bear in mind, this is with Firefox running in the background and with me recording, so it's around 1 to 2 gigs of RAM, 1.7 actually. So it's actually still better than Windows without all the stupid things. I'm running just openbox without any desktop environment, just openbox, and it runs really well. After startup, we're using only around, what was it, 200 to 300 megs of RAM. So it's only thanks to Firefox that we're eating this much RAM right now. So what you want to do is you want to first install openbox. The way you do this, you want to go ahead and run these commands. You're going to have to make sure that you have git installed. The way you will install git is really simple. You just do, if you're running arch, you just do sudo pacman -s git. And if you're running Ubuntu or a Debian based distribution, you just do sudo apt install git. You run this, you type in your password, and since I already have git installed, it's not gonna try and resolve dependencies for me. So I'm not gonna install it, but you wanna install it, I already have it installed. As you can see, it says reinstalling in my case. So after you have git, you wanna run these commands in this succession. So you wanna do, I'm going to run them one by one. So we're going to run the first command, so to clone my openbox-with-windows-snapping repository, which contains openbox with the patch. Then you want to do cd openbox-windows-snapping because you want to change into the directory. So you change into that. You can list out the files if you want to with ls. That's all the files that are in there. The patch has been already applied, so you don't have to worry about it. Then you want to basically configure the environment. So you want to just copy this and it will configure it for you, which will take a little bit of time depending on how quick your computer is. So as you can see, it's still configuring, and we are done. As you can see, we have X cursor library, X startup notifications, session management, and all these things already installed. One more thing I should mention, you should have all the build essentials for Manjaro or your distribution installed before doing this. I'm not gonna show you how you install them, you just have to look them up how you install them for your distribution. On Debian, it's just sudo apt install build essentials, but you need to have cmake, gcc and such installed to make it work, along with other things. I'm not gonna mention which ones those are. Then you wanna do make, and this is something that it's dependent on you. I'm going to run make like this, which will automatically pick my course, I think. it will. And if you want to run make with a specific amount of cores, you just do -j and give it the amount of cores. So in my case it would be 4 if I wanted to build it with 4 cores in it. Actually we can do it right now, and as you can see it's building with all 4 of my cores being pegged. So, and it doesn't take that long, it's actually really fast, a really quick build. And after you do this, it will hopefully build with no errors. Sometimes there will be a warning, but you can pretty much just ignore the warning. So it takes a little while, obviously, to make it. This is pretty much, and it's done. So we have it already prepared. So the only thing left for us to do is run sudo make install. So sudo make install. And this will install it for us. As you can see, it cannot relink one library, but that's fine. It actually showed up with this for relinking openbox with this. It's fine, you don't have to have it, it will work just fine. And that's it installed. If you look here, it's making a directory to autostart openbox, so it's fine. And that's for openbox and stuff, so that's fine. So we have openbox installed. After this, you want to reboot and you should have windows snapping enabled. You can test it by dragging a window all the way to the top or to the corner of your monitors, and you should have windows snapping enabled just like that. So that's openbox. The next thing you want to install are, for my configuration at least, are these things. So if you are running a Arch-based distribution, you want to run this command followed by this command. And what all of this will do, this will install the obconfig, which is for configuring how your openbox will look for the style configurations, which is what we want. Nitrogen is for setting wallpapers. If you don't want to use wallpapers and want a truly minimalistic setup, you do not have to use this. It's actually used in one more thing in this tutorial, but if you don't want to use it, you can just leave it out, it will work just fine. Yay is for installing the Yay package manager to get stuff from the AUR under Arch Linux. So if you're not using Arch Linux, you can get rid of the Yay section over here and the pacman section over here. If you're using just Debian or a Ubuntu-based distro, you can install obconfig, nitrogen, tint2, arandr, and dmenu. Arandr is used to set our monitors. If you are running dual monitors, you can set them up with this. And dmenu is our application launcher. I have it mapped to Windows key ND, and I can open up, I don't know, let's say Spotify. I can open up Spotify just like that. I could open it just by pressing enter, but I'm not gonna do that right now. And then there's the xfce-polkit. So xfce-polkit is actually for the policy kit, which is a graphical rendition of it. So let's say you wanted to run something like virtual machine manager. So what you can do is you can do like virt-manager, which is for virtual machine manager, and it takes a little while to launch. So just give it a bit of time. If you have an SSD or a faster form of storage, it will run faster. Right now, since I'm recording, it's not running as quickly as it should. So you have to bear that in mind. Come on, you're going to open up at anytime soon. There we go. So virt manager has been, started. And if you wanna, connect it, you click connect. And it says not connected. It takes a while. So I click double click and it will, it will say that it cannot do it. Cannot authenticate with it. See, no connection to install to, which is weird. I can swear that I had it all set up. Weird. Anyway, let's quit this. I had this prepared, it's not working. Okay. For some reason it's not working. So pretty much if we return back to our obconfig and scale this up again, it will make a graphical like password dialog box where it will ask you to type in a password. So if you were to run, I don't know, an app that requires the permissions to do things, then you'll be required to type in the password. It worked yesterday, not sure why it doesn't work today. Next, you want to configure your autostart file. So it's inside of your home directory. All you can do is go to your terminal, and you want to go into your home directory. So what you want to do is go to cd, and you want to type in, you want to edit the autostart file. So to do that, I'm going to use Pluma as a graphical text editor, and I'm going to open up, it's in your home directory, so just write cd and you should be back in it, and type in config openbox and autostart. Once you're in here, you'll notice that I don't really have much in here. Oh crap, okay. Can we like zoom in somehow? Apparently not. It's the side panel, highlight mode. As you can see, I don't have it prepared at all, but that's fine. We can change it, you know, based on what we need. Let's change the font, make it a bit bigger so you guys can see everything. Okay, you guys should be able to see it. So pretty much what we have here is we have this nitrogen restore file. What this is for setting up your wallpaper. So if you do not want a wallpaper to be auto set, you can just remove this and have these two enabled. The xfce-polkit is for setting up the xfce policy kit, which is for the graphical passwords. So when you run a command or a tool that requires sudo permissions, it will show up with a graphical box asking you to basically, you know, to type in the password so you can run the command as an administrator. Then we have this tint2. Tint2 is pretty much the bar at the bottom, which makes some sort of like a cool looking taskbar. I'm going to show I can configure that later. And then we have this openbox dynamic menu. So let me actually close this. So the openbox dynamic menu thing is actually something really cool. So pretty much in openbox, if you want to open up the menu that you're currently using, you just right click and it will open up with a menu, something like this. And I'm using a specialized version of this which changes automatically. It's like a dynamically changing root menu, so it changes based on what applications I install. It sets them into the right directories, so it makes it much easier for me to use. So it's another form of launching applications essentially. So I can open up, I don't know, Atom if I want to, or where was it, or just Code OSS, which is for my Visual Studio Code editor. So I can just use that to open the applications if I need to. And pretty much what you want to do is you want to, I'm going to change this so that it will be applied for each and every user. The change is actually really easy. It's just like that. Boom, it's changed. So it will pretty much remove the obmenu-generator just in case it's already in there. Then it will clone the obmenu-generator thing. Bear in mind you have to be in the home directory. I think I already have it, so let me just see if I have it. So it should be like that. Let me do grab obman. I already have obmenu-generator in my home directory, so all I have to do is just copy the obmenu-generator into my user bin directory. Also, before copying, I would suggest that you change the schema.pl file. Let me show you what that is and what it does. So if we run, oops, it's Pluma, I believe, yep, Pluma, and then you want to change the obmenu-generator schema.pl file. And what this file is, it's a file that it will use to set your default apps. So for example, if you wanna change the, where is it? It was somewhere at the top, I swear. There we go, here it is. So for example, I changed the terminal. It normally uses xterm. So you want to change this xterm. It will say xterm for you. So you want to change this to what you want to have in there. I have it set to Alacrity, and my web browser from Chromium, I set it to Firefox, and I left everything as it is. I can also get rid of gm run and change it to something else like dmenu_run if I really want to, but I'm not gonna do that because I really don't have time for that. And this changes all the other things, but that's just for you, you know, the things that you want to change. Where is it? Yeah, we have the Conky RC and Tin2 panels, so you can pretty much leave it as it is. It also has some notes in here for the schema file that you're going to use. That's for the environment, which it requires the config.pl file. But the schema.pl file, pretty much, this is where you change your main apps. I changed my terminal and my web browser, so it correlates with my config. So it's up to you what you want to do with that. So that's just a small note on that. After that, you want to run the obmenu-generator -p. -p is without the icons. I wasn't able to get it working with icons, so I recommended you just run this one so you can have a simple and minimalistic login and working menu. After doing that, I'm going to insert the rc.xml file when we finish, but I wanted to cover my rc.xml file. So the rc.xml file is actually in your openbox.config folder. Let me actually show you how you can open it. So let me switch to my terminal over here, and let's say we want to do code, and we do .config openbox, and I think it was rc.xml. Run this, it will open up in the text editor that you use. I will use Visual Studio Code. And pretty much the standard file you have here is where all of your keyboard shortcuts and stuff is configured. And all you want to change is go to the section where it says key bindings for Windows and key bindings for Windows switching. You want to scroll down until you see key bindings for running applications. You want to copy this and then change it. And here are the things that I changed. These aren't stuck with the environment, but that's what I use. So what I have here is I have a custom shortcut for opening up my terminal. So let's say I want to close this. I close this terminal and I want to reopen it. Instead of using dmenu and typing Alacrity to open it, I can just press Ctrl Alt and T, and it will open up the terminal that I need. I already opened code using the command, and you can also open a web browser. For example, I can open up Firefox, like another instance of Firefox, for example. So let's say Ctrl Alt V, I press it and it opens Firefox. I didn't click anything. It opens up. Then we have, for example, from our file manager, I have just Ctrl Alt and F. So I have that, and it opens up the file manager. The next thing, this is for setting up my dual monitors. I'm rocking 2 monitors. However, to show all of you that the window tiling or snapping works, I had to disconnect my second monitor. With 2 monitors, it's kind of finicky, it doesn't work right. But if you're running a single monitor, as you saw, it runs perfectly fine. You see, I can snap windows how I want to. And then we have this window, this WX thing. This WX thing is for setting up my monitors, and the W is pretty much the Windows key. So if I were to press WX, it would try and set my position, but since my second monitor is now disconnected, it won't work. So I use this every single time I boot up my computer to set up my monitors. I'm rocking 2 monitors right now, so I'm using that. Next keyboard shortcut I have here is this thing. This will open up the dmenu, which is my app launcher, a secondary one that I have. So if I were to press Windows key, which is this key right here, followed by D, so if I press VD, it will open up a dmenu over there. And what I can do is, for example, open up my file manager from here. So let's say pacman.fm. I open it, as you can see, it opens pacman.fm. If you install dmenu like I have, you need to use dmenu run. If you were to use regular dmenu, it will not work. It will work, but it won't give you the suggestions for the applications. Dmenu run pretty much checks all the applications you have installed, and it will just give you suggestions, which is what I recommend. And that's so far all the shortcuts I have. I may update it later on, but I will add this file to the text that the article that I'll make on my GitHub profile, so you guys can follow along later on. So that's pretty much that. So next is to configuring the openbox configuration thing. So the next thing we have is we need to open obconfig, or the settings, if you will. So you can do this via the terminal. So if you, I don't know, if you were to, oops, didn't mean to do that. So if you were to open your terminal and you were to type in, what was it, obconfig, like this, obconf, it will open up with the openbox configurator, which is what we want to use. But since I want to show you a graphical way of doing this, we're not going to use the terminal. So you want to right click and to open your menu, and you want to go into settings, and you want to find the openbox configuration manager. So you click that and it will open up the exact same window, but it's the graphical way of opening this. And you want to scroll down and find the KV Arc Dark. You can also install the theme if you want to, or create a new one, but I have set this theme up because it's a darker theme and it works fine for me. In appearance, I changed the text to source code pro extra light, and I left the numbers as they were originally, so 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, and 9. In terms of the windows, I left them set like this. Also, I recommend that you untick this. It's really annoying if you open up another app in the meantime while you're working on a different app. So let's say I wanted to open, let's say I have this open, I want to open up a terminal for later. I can keep on typing in my regular window without having to switch to the second window that I just opened while working on a text document, for example. So I can open up apps for later, so I can have it prepared, which is really useful. Place new windows under pointer, untick this. This causes a lot of stupid things to happen. I unticked it. Maybe it isn't even ticked on by default, but I have it unticked. Prefer to place new windows on. Set this to your primary monitor. It makes it really easy to know where it is, especially if you're using just one monitor. Instead of move and resize, I have it set to update the window contents while resizing. What this will do is it will change the way the windows look, you know, based on how you... It's sometimes glitchy depending on what you do, but it works for me. In terms of the mouse, I left it set as it is. Also, untick focused windows when mouse pointer moves over them. It's really annoying if you just want to get rid of the mouse and it switches to a different window. So untick this and you will be fine, it will work just fine. Under desktops, I have it to show desktop notifications when switching, so you can see I can switch my desktops just fine. So I just put my mouse over or somewhere else, and I can, into an empty space obviously, and I can switch desktops with just scrolling my wheel, which is really nice and really handy. Or if you have a full screen app open, you cannot like scroll. But if you resize it and go to somewhere to an edge, you can change it based on what you need. It's really handy if you want to use multiple desktops, which is a really useful feature if you have just one monitor plugged in, for example. Next we have these margins, leave them as they are at 0. And under the dock, I don't have it set up. I have set the dock to be kept below all windows because it's not really needed. So that's all for the configuration within the obconfig settings. Next up, we want to configure our panel down here. If you remember, I mentioned that you had to reboot after doing this. What this will do, you should like reboot after doing this, otherwise it won't show. I should have mentioned that, sorry about it. So reboot just now, come back, and after that you should see this menu down here. It won't look the same way like I have it, but I have it configured. I want to show you how I did it. So you will have a menu that looks like this, and what you want to do is you want to right click your desktop and you want to find under, where was it? it was on the settings, so I go to settings and find tint to settings. Once you click on tint to settings, it will come with this window, and you will have something like this enabled by default. So you wanna basically right click it, and I'm gonna use mine. So you wanna click right click and edit theme. You'll have to wait until it opens it. So it takes a little while to open, so like, come on. Set the gradients to none, vertical, set start color and then color to transparent, and leave it as it is. In terms of backgrounds, I have it set to active desktop name, fill color is transparent, border color is the standard border color, so I didn't even change much here. In terms of the panel, I set it to be here on this bottom side of my window. I could have set it up there, but I have it set down here, so I recommend that. And set it only on the primary monitor. It will say all, so it will be on both of your monitors, but I recommend setting it on just one monitor. There's not much. I also changed the size in pixels to 30 pixels. I can change this however I want, but I like it at 30 pixels. So depending on your monitor, you want to change that, but I like it at 30 pixels. In terms of panel items, you will have the taskbar, system tray and clock. And the for configuring stuff, you want to add the launcher. So you want to go over here, select the launcher, click this, and move it up all the way to the left. This will add a app launcher so you can launch your applications from that bar. You want to scroll down, there's the taskbar. I have set it to always show all desktop tasks. Everything else is disabled because it's sometimes really disorienting, and I like to have a overview of all the apps that pretty much, you know, are open, so I know which app is open at a given time. I have set task sorting to nothing, horizontal padding to nothing. I think this is pretty much stock. This is the desktop name. I'm not even showing the desktop name because it's sometimes annoying, so get rid of that. And in terms of the font, you don't even have to change it if you set it to disabled. I actually unticked this to prevent it from changing anything. In terms of the task buttons, I have it set to, it's actually standard, so I pretty much ignore it. But that's pretty much how I have set it up. I pretty much ignore it. Next up is the launcher. This is the fun part. So on the left side, you have the apps that you've pinned. For example, I have quite a few apps pinned. And let's say I want to add the Arduino IDE. So I can just click to the left right here, scroll down. I have the Arduino IDE. I can change its position if I need to, just like that. And I could have added it in, but I don't use it as much, so I don't have it tagged in. I have only the apps that I use pretty much all the time at any given moment, so I have easy access to them. So it's really easy to just add apps and remove them if you need to. It's really self-explanatory. Next up is the clock. The only thing I changed is I added seconds. So I have added just this thing. So this double dot, this %s. For in Unix, this pretty much says, hey, show me even the seconds of the current time, which if you look down here, it actually says hours, minutes, and seconds. Next, you want to go to the system tray. I leave it set as it is. Nothing has changed. Battery, I have it set like that. I don't really have a battery on my desktop, obviously, so I'm not using it. Then this tooltip, I have it set to 0 because I don't like tooltips, so set it to 0 seconds, 0.0 seconds, and it won't show up with any tooltips at all, which is actually really handy if you want to have a really clean looking environment. And after you've set it all up, you can select it, tick this arrow, and you have it already applied, just like I have. It's really handy and really neat looking. I like it so far. So with that, the final thing to change to make it look into a clean environment, this is actually one of, if you didn't install nitrogen, you can skip this, you're pretty much done. You can go and work with it as you want. If you don't have nitrogen installed, if you have nitrogen installed, you can follow along with this last step like I have. So if you installed nitrogen, you need to make sure that it's actually set with the restore parameter in your autostart file. I actually have it in there, and what it does, it will pretty much set it so it can like auto start, you know, it will auto start, but it will also restore your wallpaper that you set. So without the restore function, it will not set the wallpaper. So if you have it installed, you can right click your desktop and go to accessories. Under accessories, it's in alphabetical order, so find nitrogen, Once you find nitrogen, it will open up with this menu. You want to select the wallpaper you want. For example, I want to have this wallpaper. Select it to full screen or one screen if you have, and hit apply. Now apply is hidden because I don't have it resized, but you can see this is the apply button. So you select it, select the screen you want to have it on, hit apply, and you're done. If you don't see your wallpapers, go to preferences and add the directory in it and just find it whenever you need to go. So I double click my pictures directory and my wallpapers directory, and I click select, and this is where all my wallpapers that I have are, so I can switch them around if I really want to. So for example, I can set this one as the main desktop now. It doesn't look as nice, so I recommend to change it to scaled if you don't have a standard res monitor. It makes it look a bit nicer in my opinion, but then again, it's my desktop. I do whatever I want with this, so you can change it based on what you want. I'm going to set it back to the original wallpaper. So full screen, scaled, hit apply, and I usually leave it at automatic since it's black anyway. So there we go, it's all set to the original one. As you can see, it's my wallpaper that I use all the time. And that's pretty much it. That's how I configure OpenBox. You can get this customized build of OpenBox again on my GitHub page. I will link this down below. I really like this customized version. I can keep on adding features if I have to, but with these keyboard shortcuts and the Windows snapping, it makes it into a really useful environment. So it's a custom feature that I made. You can check out the code in the description, my GitHub page. And with that note, I would like to thank all of you for joining me today. I hope that this was of some use for all of you. I'm going to go ahead and edit this video now, and I will make sure to subscribe, share it around, and I will see all of you beautiful people next time.